Welcome to Productive Joy with Dr. Christen, where fun meets action.
Hi, friends. Welcome to Productive Joy. Today is a bonus day because you don't get one, you get two amazing women who are killing it in the workspace, killing it at home, and just doing some really awesome things. And you're going to get to learn from them today. So excited to introduce you to my friends. But before I do, we have a couple things that we just need to make sure you're doing. If you're not already following this podcast, please do. It's the only way that you're going to guarantee that you get every episode and that you get to learn things every single time. And if you really like it, share it so that other people can see it too. So today you are in for a treat. So we have sisters with us today, and these sisters have Johnson Ritchey Law Firm. But what's so cool about them is they're moms. They're wives. They are professional volunteers, meaning they do a whole lot of it. They're coaches and dog moms, and one's an equestrian. I'll let you figure out which one. And for the last 10 years, they've been entrepreneurs together. They went to school to be lawyers, but now they're friends, lawyers, and really successful businesswomen all down in Boca. And we get to talk to them today. So ladies, welcome. I didn't even say your names. Let's say your names. It's Christen Ritchey and Caroline Johnson. Welcome to Productive Joy.
Thank you so much. We're excited to be here.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. Okay, so girls, here's the reality. People have a really short attention span, and I know you know this because you speak professionally for a living, but we need to convince people that they really want to listen to this episode. So what would you say to people to hook them right away and make sure that they want to stay tuned in? And you can, either one of you can answer.
I would say we were in a workplace where we were not happy. And so we changed that and we created the workplace we wanted to be in. And it's been great. And we'd love to share that story.
Yeah, we were on the hunt for the mythical work-life balance, and we think we found it. So we'd love to share that. Hope that other people find it too.
Oh, and I cannot imagine there's a person listening that doesn't want to hear that story. And I have had the privilege of being in your office and experiencing your people. And it is an all-female group of just amazing women who gel really well together and are changing lives, literally. So how did that happen? That doesn't just poof happen, but it has happened for the last 10 years. Tell us about it.
Well, Caroline and I were at a law firm working together, and she was pregnant with her third child, and I was pregnant with my second. And we just decided we needed some flexibility in our lives. We were working for a great person, a great firm, but we didn't have a whole lot of flexibility. And so we decided to go out on our own. And it started as me and Caroline in like an executive suite. It was more like a closet. We were sort of crammed into a windowless little office. And we started the firm, and we prided ourselves on making it fun, doing good quality work, and allowing ourselves flexibility. And as we grew, we made sure that we provided that to everybody who worked with us.
Oh, I love it. And I like that you started with fun. All right. Well, what would you add, Caroline?
I mean, we really did focus on what was important to us, which was, the flexibility, the taking control, and growing very organically, and making sure that the people that we added to the team really fit with the same vision and really had the same standards of the quality of work, needed and appreciated that flexibility, and really were team players. So the best thing about doing this for a decade now is the team we have built is just so amazing. You mentioned it. You got to meet them. I mean, it's just a bunch of incredible women who share our vision of doing great quality work. We've built in efficiency, which helps. I mean, there was a time before we went out on our own where there wasn't a lot of efficiency necessarily in the workday. So it took longer than it had to. So I think building flexibility and efficiency has really helped us reach that work-life balance we were talking about that we thought was mythical, but now I really think it's achievable.
Well, and when you're saying work-life balance, you're talking 2 and 3 kids. You're talking, families you like to go, travel, do, and you're still managing to do it all. You've both mentioned the word flexibility often, and that seemed to be your number one driver. Can you define that for me? Like when you say flexible, I'm assuming, most lawyers work sun up to sundown, constant, like there are no hours. What do you mean when you say flexible?
Yeah, definitely not that. So we again, we pride ourselves on doing great quality work, but we're not working, around the clock. We come in, we have goals. Our entire team has goals. We have to achieve this for the business to run successfully. But if you want to go to your child's preschool graduations that seem to always be Tuesday at 11 a.m., and you can get your work done later when your child's taking a nap, I don't care when you get it done, as long as you get it done and get it done well. I just need you to meet the goals in a way that you can also accomplish and be present in your life outside of work. Because being there for our families and getting to enjoy that time, really, we're on a podcast for productive joy. I mean, I think the joy that you can find on your time off, if you can prioritize what's important to you, will help you be more productive, more efficient, more energized when you come to work. So
100%.
for flexibility, that's what I mean. As long as you get it done well, I don't care when you get it done.
So I love the example of a pre-K graduation because they are always Tuesdays at 11. Like it's in the middle of the day, and if you don't have the kind of job where you can walk away, you're going to miss something that's going to matter much more in 5 years than the brief that you were working on. All right, so what would you add to that, Christen?
Well, I think Caroline spoke really well to the when we get the work done, but it's also the where. Everybody has an office. We love to see people, and if they want to come in, fabulous. There's a spot for you to work here, but you don't have to. You can work in your yoga pants at home, and I am fine with that. And that goes to everyone, as long as you're, a receptionist is in office, obviously, but that's the job, right? I think one really great example was when we did go out on our own, Caroline's main goal was to work her kids' school hours. So she made it happen. So she comes in early after she drops them off, and then she leaves and picks her kids up most of the time. Obviously, if there's a hearing or a deposition, she finishes up what she needs to do. Now, that doesn't mean she neglects the clients after 2:00. She might be taking phone calls when the kids are doing their homework at home. And because responsiveness is another huge, huge quality of our firm. We're not like, oh, be sure you call back within 24 hours. Like somebody is getting back to a client like immediately, even if it's not the attorney on the file. Someone's going to talk to a client or opposing counsel. Responsiveness is huge. But I think that that's a really big example. And it's not like we're all working really hard so that Caroline can work her kids' school hours.
Right.
I go away a lot. I travel a lot. I like to travel. And sometimes Caroline's like, are you working Fridays? I'm like, I'm just working from wherever I am. Right. So it's the when and the where, that really provides the flexibility.
Well, and I would say that people would call that mythical, right? That you can pick where you work and you can pick when you work as long as you work and get it done. And I'm curious how you have developed, and I know you have because I've seen it with my eyeballs, but how have you developed the right level of trust with your team? Because here, people are listening and they're going, yeah, that sounds lovely, but you're running your own place. How do you get that level of quality out of everybody and trust them to get the job done when you're not physically on them? Because I think sometimes we think we have to be those micromanagers, which is the worst possible way to lead others.
And through that.
It's not micromanage, but we have accountability, right? I mean, we absolutely, here's what needed to get done last week for the client. It got done. The clients are happy. We've gotten feedback. And, obviously we're a firm where what we have is a service industry. We have hours that we bill, and we set the amount that needs to happen. We don't set where or when, but we can see if they met the goal. So it's not micromanaging necessarily, but if someone's not doing it, we'll have to talk to them and say, what's going on? What's the game plan to meet it? I mean, we're running an actual business, right?
Yeah.
So you can't take the work out of it.
No, definitely.
Try to make the work better, but better for the team to fit their own unique lifestyle. But I think the number one thing is, it's easier to give someone flexibility. It's easier to let them choose the when and where, as long as they are doing great work within that, scope, within the parameters they're setting for themselves, and they're meeting all the goals that we set for them, which our team does.
Well, I hear two things. I hear that clear is kind, right? So you have very clear expectations, clear goals, clear accountability. But then you also have systems in place for checks and balances, right? Whether it's the timesheet that says we have given this client X number of hours, or the end product, or the checkpoints along the way, you all have done a beautiful job of creating those systems, which I think is what is replicable, right? Systems are repeatable if they are truly systems. Christen, would you add anything?
Yeah, I mean, just like she said, we're running a business. So there's metrics, there's KPIs. We're not like out here oblivious to it's more like balance, right? It's not just life. So but everybody, we do communicate them clearly, like you said, and people are accountable, including ourselves. Like if I don't meet my billable goals, we sit down and have a conversation. I explain, well, this is what was going on or whatever, and this is how we're going to make it up. Because the billable goals are doable, and we are transparent with our team. And we're like, listen, you want to make this amount, this is what the firm needs. We can back into a salary conversation. We don't hide that information from our employees. And, some of our team is not billable goals, obviously the receptionist or our, office manager, but they still have clear expectations. Yeah. And we talk about them along the way.
Well, that's the key to good leadership, right? Is I can't hit a target I can't see. So if I am not creating a very clear target for my team that says you must do this, this, and this by this time, then you're asking them to shoot at a wall and hope for the best. And that's just not what you've done. You've done a beautiful job of setting your people up for success. So what's the number one thing that you look for in an employee that you know is going to fit well in this beautiful space? I know you're not hiring today, but you got to hire all of the beautiful women that you are working with. What do you look for in a really great hire?
Attitude.
That was cute. Okay, wait. Go, Christen, you go first because you both had answers at exactly the same time.
Yeah, it's the personality. It's more important. That is, I think, someone has to fit in. And, if you've got someone coming in who's very negative or, very reactive and victim and it's all me, they're not going to be able to help. We're helping people through a very difficult, traumatic time in their lives. So I need people who want to empathize, who want to help, who want to serve. And we're all serving, right? In whatever capacity we are. And in whatever role we're filling in this firm, we're all serving, and we're serving our clients and families. And so I think personality is the most important skills we can teach, not a problem.
Yeah, love that. All right. So Caroline, what was your great answer that was right on top of hers?
I definitely think personality. I mean, she hit the nail on the head. I think it's hard, to interview someone and figure out if they're going to be a great fit for your team. So unfortunately, we've had people that we hired that we thought were going to be a great fit, and then we had to set them free to find a place where they would be a good fit. And that's definitely happened because we're so protective of the family that we've created here. And so if someone, just because they're not a good fit here, it doesn't mean they're not going to be a great fit somewhere else. But I think for me, it's very hard. I think that interviews are great. But I think it's once you get someone on your team and see how they're interacting with everyone and how they're fitting in, and are they working hard? Do they share our vision and, our core values? And I think that's hard. Everyone's going to tell you they do in an interview. So I think looking at how they fit into the team once they come in and they're, part of it. And then, letting people who need to go find the right fit go, and cherishing and rewarding the people who are a perfect fit for this team.
Beautiful. And that was what I had the privilege of doing with you guys, is sitting down with this team of 12 and saying, all right, what are your personalities and how do they fit together, right? Because sometimes it's about knowing which seat on the bus you're supposed to be in, or confirmation that this is the right seat for you. And I think that's really what happened with us together, is we got to figure out, oh my gosh, people really are exactly where they're supposed to be because their personalities are this, and this is how that manifests in the workplace. But it's just a really cool opportunity, one that I'm very grateful for. And I know that is continued to spark conversation because you have the same language, right? Sometimes we all need the common linguistics around what we're talking about to be able to figure out how that all fits together. So I want to rewind a little because Caroline, you basically defined productive joy for you as a group, but I'm going to give you the chance to really embellish on that a little. what is your definition of productive joy in the workplace? Both of you, not just you, Caroline.
Well, mine is just, the happier you are, the more productive you are. If you share the vision and you are happy to be part of the team that's executing the vision, I think you're just going to be that much better at accomplishing the goals that you set together. So I think bringing joy to the workplace, you did a great job when you came in as speaker. Our team still talks about it. They still rave about what a team bonding experience that was. But I think cherishing those bonding experiences and prioritizing making the workplace as joyful as it can be for each and every member of the team, I think just makes for more productivity. And I just think the studies are out there. It's just a great way to enjoy our time at work because, man, we spend a lot of time at work.
We do. Well, I think that goes back to what you said about flexibility, because you just said that productive joy is unique to each person. And I believe that to be true, right? So I might want there to be more interactions with others, and somebody else might want to have some quiet place to work. And so the fact that I can work from home on the days that I really need to be focused, and I can come in on the days that I need to be with people, that's a pretty great example of the uniqueness that's required for everybody to feel that. All right. So Christen, your turn. What's productive joy?
You know what? You are productive joy. And what you did for our team, because we've told you, we've done these team building things in the past. I'm a huge fan. We've done the language of love in the workplace, and we've done the Clifton skills tests and all the things. And we told you all about all this stuff. And you're like, well, what did you do with it? I was like, nothing. Right. We just enjoyed doing it. And it was a real team building and fun experience. But you really held us accountable when you came in and did the team building, which was so fun. We all just enjoyed so much, doing it, but we learned so much, like what Kenya's personality was versus, mine versus, and do we have the people, I'm a huge fan, getting the right people on the bus and put them in the right seat. And you've also followed up with us with, it was a drip, flash drop, whatever
all those things.
Yeah. And what can I do to continue to help you grow and help you learn and to me, doing something fun that you can also learn from and all grow together, that's what I would call productive joy.
Well, and you guys do work in an industry where you are meeting people either at their absolute worst, right? Lowest, this is not where I wanted to be sitting, or in a really celebratory, great thing, but typically it's pretty extreme one way or another. And so you do have to have the right abilities on your team to be able to meet people where they are. And I think that that's really what you're doing, and you're doing a darn good job of it. So thank you. And it truly was fun. And then you got to go have even more fun because it was right around Christmas time, and you got the chance to go out on a boat and celebrate just a great year. I think that too is important, right? Recognizing that if we don't celebrate our wins, why are we working so hard to have them? And I know I meet a lot of people who forget to be in that gain mentality of look at what we've done versus just we got to do more, right? We're not done yet. Of course, we're not done yet, but let's at least take a minute to go, good job on the stuff that you have done, which is great. So I have to ask, what's it like working with family? That's not always an easy dynamic, but you guys have chosen to work together. So what's the secret to success in that space?
Oh, I love that my partner is my sister who I trust implicitly. I say all the time, what is good for me is literally good for Christen's family. And so, we very much enjoy each other's successes. We enjoy challenging each other. It's interesting when we have disagreement because we are polar opposite. Her strengths are my weaknesses and vice versa, which I think is a great thing in a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say when we have disagreement, it's really funny because we can switch back and forth from like, I don't think we should do that with the budget on that line item. And also, I can't believe what you did to me in 7th grade when I couldn't do like you.
So my boyfriend and did that. Yeah.
Whatever it is. It's funny because there is the family dynamic, which not every business partnership has. But I think it also means we're going to get through anything together. If there's no giving up on this partnership, it's a lifetime relationship. And so I think it just really helps us kind of work together and doing those differences, which I think those differences add so much value.
Oh,
I
yeah.
see things from her perspective, naturally, because I'm coming from mine.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, we've had conference room, meltdowns where I don't like that budget, that line item, and you're hurting my feelings right now. It's like, and our staff knows, like, this is just us, But one story I love is right after I had my daughter, my second child, I had this case and my client had a trial and only wanted me there. And I was on maternity leave, as much as you could when you're running your own business.
I was going to say, you put that in air quotes because, I'm going to guess there wasn't a lot of time off, but okay.
Yeah. But my client wanted me there and I needed to do that, to be there. So instead of working that day, Caroline came to my house and watched my daughter.
Oh.
So this flexibility has expanded into like our office managers sometimes have to pick Caroline's kids up from school if she's in some, so we have a ping pong table and a living room in our office with coloring books and crayons. So people's kids, when they're off school, bring your kids to work day. That's fine,
Yeah.
So I think we've just really let that grow and expand. Been really cool.
I know the word family in your company name has to do with who you serve, but I think it really also has to do, I'm sure there was a double meaning there. It has to do with what you've created in the office. And I think that's what we're all as leaders striving to do, because families fight, but families also choose to stick together and, can get through all of this stuff because they know that we're not going anywhere, right? Like I am by your side. You make me crazy, but I am by your side and I'm going to stay by your side. And I know that your clients appreciate that. There's no way that they don't. And you ladies are so fun. So here's the thing. I know I could talk to you forever, but people won't listen forever. So instead, I have some rapid fire questions for you. And so we'll take turns. And sometimes, Christen, you'll go first, and sometimes, Caroline, you'll go first. But before we jump into that, I want people to be able to contact you. What is the best way for them to find you? I mean, I hope that they don't need your services in some regards, and yet we all need your services in some regards. So how would people find you?
Oh, great. So, the website's www.jrfamilylaw.com. We're on Facebook, Johnson Ritchey Family Law. We're on Instagram at JR Family Law. And then you could always email Christen or I. Mine's C. Johnson at jrfamilylaw.com. Hers is C. Ritchey at jrfamilylaw.com. We would be happy to follow up with anyone who had any questions.
Well, and what kind of services do you provide? Because I don't want to make any assumptions that people know exactly what a family law firm might do.
We all divorces and paternity cases and anything having to do with postnuptial agreements, prenuptial agreements, child support, time sharing, parenting issues, anything that a family might need help getting through the court process with when transitioning from, co-parent or, being married to divorced or establishing paternity and all the parental rights. So there's a lot. It's a long list. Christen has something to add. I forgot.
Yes, I do, because you said through the court process, and this is one of the big differences between the two of us. So I practice collaboratively. I do mediations, uncontested, when people want to cooperate and be amicable and go a little more smoothly. I handle that department. We're full service. Caroline was an assistant state attorney out of law school. So she's like litigation queen. She's, she's in the courthouse all the time. But I do want to just throw out that we offer full service. So
I love it. And that's your personalities, right? Because that was my other question is, how did both of you, as different as you are, land in law? Like, was that just you came out of the womb knowing that's what you wanted to do, or what?
No. So I was going to be a vet. My major is in equine industry. Well, there I gave away the...
you did, the secret. Okay, so you're an equestrian.
Right. And I interned with a vet during college and I hated it. I was like, oh, I love the animals, but I don't actually want to take care of them when they're ill.
Right.
So my mom had a friend. Right. Yeah. So my mom had a friend who was a judge and she's like, why don't you go intern with the judge next summer and see what you think? And I ended up loving it. And I decided to go to law school. Then
I was majoring in psychology and I was a year behind Christen. And I was called my mom one day and I was like, should I do PsyD or PhD? I was thinking about graduate options. And she said, you know what? I really think you should consider going to law school like your sister. She never said anything like that. She was trying to raise decision makers and for us
Yeah.
to be who we are. She had never tried to guide me in a direction like that. But I was like, if she thinks it's a good idea, no one knows any better than her. Let me look into it. I think I took the LSAT like a couple months later and I went to law school and I loved it. I mean, it was just
Wow.
nice, life changing. The one time that I think she really felt she needed to kind of push me in a direction, she did. And I'm thankful for it.
Those mamas, they kind of know, right? Like we do. We know what's best for kids. My daughter is a teacher. I was an educator for all of my life. And I knew when she came out of the womb that that's what she needed to do, but she was not having it or hearing it. And so she went to school for psychology also, but it was child psych, right? Like, so she knew that she wanted to work with kids. And then when she graduated, what she really wanted to do was work in hospitals. But because of when COVID hit in her process, she couldn't get any volunteer hours at a hospital. So she's like, well, maybe I'll just teach, like sub or something. And she went in and sure enough, that was exactly where she was supposed to be. So I do understand as a mama going, okay, but can you just think about this? Like, can you just give it a shot? Because I'm pretty sure you'd love it. So, okay, ready for rapid fire.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Do I have a volunteer to go first or you want to be voluntold?
Uh,
Oh,
I'll
look,
vol-
Caroline's like, okay, I'm the one that volunteers to go first. I will blaze the way. Okay, so what is your definition of fun?
Oh, fun. I like being with my family going on adventures. I mean, anything with adrenaline too. Like we're about to go to cliff jumping and Greece and fun.
No,
Is
I was gonna say like big adventures. We're talking like we're gonna jump off of a cliff in another country. Sounds like a great idea. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. Okay, so that's your definition of fun. What about you, Kristen?
It doesn't have to be a big adventure like that, but just spending time with my family. And that includes Caroline and that includes our whole team here that we consider family, but just time with the ones you love.
Love it. I love it. I love that you defined family too, because that was going to be my follow-up question is, okay, when you say family, I'm assuming you mean husband, kids, but who else? So I love it. Okay. So that means, Kristen, you get to go first on this one. How do you know that you are showing up as your authentic self?
By the reaction that I receive from the people that I'm showing up for. You can see it in the response when you're engaging as to whether you're just like taking over the floor and just dumping information on them. And I see myself do that sometimes, like in a consult with a client, and I'm like, wait, let me back up. What do you have to say? Why don't you lead the conversation? Let me hear. And it just, I don't know. There's like a spark then, and that helps me to gauge whether I'm being authentic.
Oh, I love that. I love that. All right, Caroline, what about you?
I think anyone who knows me, I only have authentic self.
No matter what, this is what you get. I'm real sorry if you don't like it. It's taken me my entire life to realize that I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay, right? Like I think too, the older I get, the more I realize that I don't need to make excuses for the fact that I don't fit in everybody else's mold because I'm not made to fit in that mold. That's not my mold. So yes, I appreciate that. Okay, good. That works for me. Okay, so Caroline, this one's for you. How do you channel your best self on your worst days?
Oh, how do I channel my best self? I mean, I have to. I made the decision a long time ago. I'm going to try my absolute hardest to reach my full potential, which is going to be a lifelong journey. And so, the bad days are going to happen. I think really perspective. Life is a roller coaster. They're not all going to be great days, and it'd probably be boring if every day was the same. So, I mean, you got to push through the bad ones because there's a good one right around the corner.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Okay. What about you, Kristen?
I'm not kidding. Like I wrote down this word before she said it, perspective. You hit a train, you're late already and you hit the train. Is this going to ruin your day anymore? Or, hey, we get to see a train. It's cool, right? Like just what
Right.
perspective and you resetting your perspective on a bad day.
Ugh, yeah, so important. Okay. I love that. Great answers. Last question. And you both get a response to this one, which is kind of fun. People by nature cannot remember all the things, right? That's that sprinkle, splash, flood, drip, drip, drip that we were talking about. So we have flooded them with some really brilliant nuggets of wisdom for how to run a business, how to work with your family, how to create the kind of environment that people want to come to work. But if people can only remember one thing from all of the brilliant things you've said, what's the one thing that you really want them to remember? So I think, Christen, it's your turn.
I think that you need to love what you do. Find what you love and do it, and you don't work a day in your life. The moments are going to go by. So enjoy them. Enjoy them.
I love that. Snaps. Okay, Caroline.
I would say set your team up to succeed. If they are in a position where they're not going to do great quality work, instead of consistently getting upset with them not doing quality work, put them in a position where they will do great quality work and enjoy doing it. No one enjoys doing subpar work. So you have to, when we're talking about getting them on the right seat in the box, sometimes we've made up the seat because we wanted them on the team. But we sat and looked down at their strengths and said, where can we put them where they're consistently working in alignment with their strength? And so I think if you set your team up to succeed, it's just going to be great. And you will succeed.
Yeah, most definitely. Oh, you ladies were such a blessing. Thank you so much. I know that you could have been doing about 47 other things without exaggeration, but you chose to spend the last 30 minutes with us. And our Productive Joy family couldn't be any more excited about that. So y'all look up JR Family Law, find out all the things about Christen and Caroline. And I'm hopeful that you don't need their services. And yet go with the best, right? Like if something's going on in your world, let them help. They are truly fantastic. They are specifically in the state of Florida, but do you serve outside of the state of Florida or you stay local? So all of the state of Florida, though.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty big state. So I'm going to guess that there are one or two people that might need you at some point. And I just want to say thank you to all of you listening, because my whole goal in starting this podcast was to get my brilliant friends in one place and let you learn from them. And I think today was absolutely no exception. So thank you for choosing to listen. Please continue to listen. Please continue to share. And just don't forget, your number one goal today is to figure out a way to turn fun into action.